Hi everyone, thanks for joining us today. I'm happy to be joined by CV, a member of the Dynamics AX R&D team. CV, thanks for being here. Thanks for being with us. We're going to be
Pleasure.
talking about services and the integration framework in Dynamics AX 2012. Before we get started, it'd be great to have you tell the folks listening and watching the video a little bit about yourself and what you're responsible for on the team.
Sure, absolutely. So my full name is actually Chandramouli Venkatesh, and I go by CV, unlike your name, which is super simple guy. I am a principal program manager lead on the AX team, and I'm responsible for the services and application integration framework and the X++ programming language areas. So services and application integration framework is what we're going to be talking about in this session. This is an area we have invested in very heavily in AX 2012. Lots of improvements, lots of new capabilities, lots of new features, yet at the same time we have simplified things dramatically. So to start with, services have been elevated to a first-class programming model to the AX system.
And what does that mean for someone who's not familiar with that phrase?
So what that means is effectively any functionality of the AX system that you want access to could be accessed through a web service interface. Now, what this enables you to do is instantly widen the reach of your AX system application development platform to a whole variety of platforms. As you know, mobile platforms are super popular these days, and applications written for the mobile platforms they're just multiplying by leaps and bounds every single day. So what is essential to access the functionality on AX system and from applications like that is a web service interface. So the more functionality exposed as web services, the richer are your applications going to be. So in AX 2012, out of the box, there are more than 90 web services that we ship.
90 services.
90 services. So compare this to AX 2009, where we had about 50 or so services, right? We have more than close to double the number of services. In addition, what we have done is we have put in a lot of developer tooling functionality and declarative constructs which help you make your own web services very easily without having to write a lot of code from scratch. So what this lets you do is even if you have scenarios where the services that we ship out of the box are not adequate, you can make your own services just by putting some attributes on the classes that you know you want exposed out, which makes it easy for you to expose functionality to a wide variety of platforms. So you name it, whether it's a Windows Phone 7 application or if it's a Java application, whatever you want to write, you can write against the AX system. And the other key point to remember is that these web services are all completely built on .NET 4 Windows Communication Foundation. And what that means is these services are completely WS star standards compliant. So WS star stands for the Web Services Protocols. Now this is a standard that is endorsed by the W3C consortium. And this is what enables the platform reach. This is what enables the interoperability between the other platforms and your own applications. And there is tons of support in Visual Studio and the .NET Framework that ships out of and .NET Framework 4.0. Which means there's a lot of community knowledge about consuming these services and about writing applications against these services. There's more than 7 million plus developers who are already familiar with .NET, and they can all leverage all these functionality to build cool new applications.
Well, I find that an interesting fact as we talked about it, because you'd hardly call just the web services and the integration and connectivity, that's not inherently simple. You have to kind of know what you're talking about. But for someone who's already kind of cracked the code and who knows these technologies already, we are making it simpler for them in this audience to really extend the platform.
You instantly get a wider reach. You know, literally, you just turn this on and then like, wow, there's like 7 million new developers who could be writing applications for your systems, right?
Right.
Absolutely, yeah.
So there's services, but then there's also integration framework and integration
absolutely,
as well.
Absolutely, right. So, excuse me. One of the key distinctions from AX 2009 is that we have drawn a clean line between services as a programming model and then integration, which is a use of services as a programming model. It's a use case scenario for services as a programming model. For those of you who are familiar with AX 2009, this area was called Application Integration Framework, or AIF. That's how it was popularly known as. So AIF still continues to exist, but we have drawn a clean line between the programming model and the integration stack. All the integration specific features are bundled under AIF. Now, in the integration area in particular, we have really simplified configuration, creation of your integration solutions, and configuration and management of integration solutions. Just for comparison's sake, in AX 2009, if you open the application integration framework menu item, there were 17 top-level menus with no clear starting point, and you didn't know where to go and what was next and what was required or not. Compare that to AX 2012. If you open the services and application integration framework menu item, you're going to see exactly 2 menu items, right? So there's two concepts that you are exposed to. There's an inbound integration port concept and an outbound integration port concept. So you have really simplified the conceptual complexity that is otherwise.
That's amazing. 17 to 2.
Yeah, I also like it's like 85% improvement. You
Yeah,
know?
that's great.
We've really simplified that. Now, at the same time, we have also added new capabilities in the integration stack. Scenarios that used to require the use of middleware servers like say WebSphere or BizTalk could be implemented without requiring those in AX 2012. So the integration stack is now capable of doing a lot more. So it's more powerful, yet it's been simplified quite a bit. Again, resonating well with the theme of powerfully simple or simply powerful. Or no, powerfully simple, yeah, that's the theme in AX 2012. So integration solutions are also much more easier to deploy and maintain because there is built-in support to move your solutions from one environment to the other. And as any person who has implemented ERPs in the real world would know, no ERP system exists in an island of its own.
Sure.
It has to integrate with other systems.
Especially
right?
these days.
These days. Absolutely, right? Because particularly, there's going to be tons of existing systems that you have in your organization. You're not going to throw them all away and then start from scratch, right? So integration is really key to a successful ERP implementation. That's where we invested so much in simplifying that, making it more powerful, and making it maintainable and manageable, reducing TCO overall.
Absolutely. Should we take a look at some of the screenshots
Sure,
and see how this looks in the new product?
Absolutely. So let me just open it up. So what I have here is AX 2012, and I'm under the system administration navigation pane area. If you look here, there's a services and application integration framework menu item here. So there are two key concepts. There's an inbound port and an outbound port. These are the two main concepts that you need to know. Again, I won't go through a whole demo here, but I'll just show you the conceptual simplification that's gone in. Okay, so as you open the inbound ports form, you see a list of ports that are available in your system. Now, in this particular case, I'm going to show you how easy is it to configure a new inbound integration port. I just go here, clicked on new, and there's a new port. I've typed in the name of test for my port, give it a description, port, right? And I'm going to be using a file system based address to access the functionality here. Basically, I'm saying all requests that are going to be coming into this port are going to be accessed through the file system, and I'm going to be picking a directory where I want this functionality exposed out. Let's just say I'm just going to pick some directory. It really doesn't matter. Right, so that's the directory where I want it exposed. And then you pick the actual service operations, the web service operations that you want exposed out through this particular port. As you can see, here's a list of all web services and the operations available. This is the 90 plus web services that I was talking about. So you just pick some of the web services and the operations that you want exposed out through this particular port. Now what this lets you do is on each port, you can pick and choose what operations you want to expose out. It's not like all 90 have to be exposed out all the time, anywhere. So you have scenarios where you're working with your trading partner, for example. You probably want them to be able to only read invoices, let's say. You don't want them to be like writing invoices, creating invoices, deleting invoices. So this is where you get to pick and choose and carve out what is the exact precise functionality you want exposed out, right?
And you're really just doing it through clicking, dragging and dropping.
Exactly, without writing code,
exactly.
right?
Not writing code.
Without writing code.
Yeah.
So that's all that it took to like actually pick and choose these service operations. Then comes a list of processing options. So in the processing options is where I told you about the powerful new features that we put in without eliminating the need for middleware. So this is where you would configure things like that. You can actually transform all the incoming requests just through clicks and configuration. What this lets you do is consume inputs that are coming in different formats. There are examples where your existing systems produce output in, say, flat file or CSV file format. They were not written during the web service era. They just put out old file formats. You want those inputs flowing into your system, but web service obviously understands only web service requests and XML messages, so you can inject transforms in here to do that bridging of the impedance mismatch, so to speak, right? This is what enables you to configure integration solutions without requiring middleware like BizTalk, which would have been required in AX 2009.
Absolutely.
Right? Now you can also configure troubleshooting settings, saying like initially when you're setting up integration, you want to see if things are flowing well or not. So you might want to increase your level of logging. You might want to log everything or not. So it lets you adjust the volume of logging, so to speak.
Sure.
And then there's also security settings where you can restrict to see who can actually submit requests on this particular port beyond the normal security settings in the system. You can go beyond that and say these are the only people who can submit requests in the system or whatnot. So that's pretty much what it takes to configure an inbound port. And as you can see, this is way simpler and way easier than how it used to be earlier.
Well, I can see that it's going to have a lot of applicability for both new customers on the system as well as those that have been using previous versions. So thanks for the demo and the insight, and appreciate your time today. I know we're all looking forward to the release of AX 2012 in the next few months. So thanks a lot for your time today.
Thank you. Thanks, Guy. It was nice talking to you.
Absolutely.